So, guys, I was looking at these graphics of the number of sex abuse cases on apps I literally use every single day. I mean, look at this. There are over 713,000 on Snapchat and over 1 million on Google. And even on Discord, which I don't use a lot, but I know is super popular, there's over 339,000 as well.
That's
It's
insane.
unreal.
That's crazy. And to think that Reddit as well has 2,090 cases is crazy to me because you wouldn't think Reddit is a website where kids go to, um, even get child sex abuse. That's crazy to me. So we
That's
have
how,
to be really vigilant.
yeah. That's how I feel about the Spotify one. Did you see that one has 816? It's obviously not that big of a number, but Spotify, where
Yeah.
you go to listen to podcasts and listen to music, and there's people on there being predators.
I
On
wonder how. Wow. I mean, is there
Yeah,
messages on Spotify or
I
Yeah,
don't think
I'm
there
wondering.
is, but there's got to be something. I don't know. I'm convinced that there's certain links or something that they add there that gives them access to their phone or something. There's very little like protection set on any of these apps, or if any protection at all, that it could literally be, let me click on this link to go see this artist, and boom, now
Mhm.
it's access to your phone.
Yeah,
Like you have no idea.
it's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess 85%, I'm just reading this stat here of child sex abuse reports happened on Meta owned platforms. So it looks like most of them are happening on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Oculus slash Metaverse, which makes sense. I mean, Instagram, Facebook, they're the most popular apps we have out here.
Yeah. What kind of surprises me is Twitch.
Mm.
I'm only saying this because on Twitch, I know there's a lot of kids, and also I know there's direct messaging. I actually thought that number would be way higher than it is. It says it's 6,665, which
Mhm.
it does surprise me a little bit because, like there's a lot of kids who stream on Twitch. There's a lot of kids on Twitch in general who like watch video games. But, that number does surprise me, but I guess it's also a good thing that it's not too bad. I mean, it's still bad. 6,000 is still crazy. But, um yeah, it's good that it's not too high. So that makes me feel a little better.
It's definitely crazy that they'll use really any social media platform. And the fact that so many of the most commonly used ones for these predators is by the same person, you don't think it's time to do something about protection for these kids? Like you
Mhm.
don't think you should do something? Like you're literally in court all the time for child sex abuse instances. Like I think one of the yeah, no, sorry, that was no, he is in court. He was in court. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of another CEO
Mhm.
who had gone to court, but there was 5 CEOs who were on the hot seat of being questioned by the US Senate for Discord, Snapchat, Twitter, or X, Facebook, TikTok, and they basically said that they're doing enough and they don't want to regulate or do any verification or any other things on these platforms for people's safety because they just think that they're literally doing enough, even though all these numbers prove otherwise. So it's not even just, I guess, that one platform. They all just don't care.
Yeah. And I guess they're members of Net Choice, which is a company where they're actually actively fighting against verification of social media. So it's this group of people where they don't want any verification, which is really sad and scary to me because we need it on these platforms.
For sure, especially with so many kids who want social media now. Like, I'm very grateful I was in the generation where social media wasn't really a thing till I was already in high school. And even then, none of us really cared about it that much.
Mm.
But like now, like my sister and my brother's generation, like social media, like they've been using it since they were so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all can easily get access to it, even if they're told no, because they all know how to use technology. So
Mhm.
there's got to be something to protect these kids for when they do go on, because they're going to go on. And there's going to be people who let them go on thinking that nothing bad's going to happen to them, not realizing that there's literally nothing set in place to keep those kids protected on there. And it's just so sad.
I
Mhm.
think I think it's crazy that, they don't want to do this because they want to make it easy. Like they want to make it easy, like user friendly for people so that they have more people on these apps. But the way that they're doing that is by not putting as many rules and not putting as many like regulations when it comes to making accounts, or like who's making an account, how many accounts can you make. So technically speaking, like they're just allowing this to happen. Like they want this to happen at this point because they're thinking about the money side of it, where it's like, I want to make this as easy as possible. If you have 5 accounts, 6 accounts, 7 accounts, that's on you. That's more money for us, right? So I feel like they don't really care in that aspect, because at the end of the day, like it's all going in their pockets. And like their kids, I guess, are not on these apps, and but you never know at the same time. Like you have to think about your own family, but they're not really thinking like that, right? So I don't know, it's just sad.
I think I actually saw, I don't know if it was the guy who made TikTok or if it was a different app, but I saw somewhere that where the guy who created one of these apps had literally said, my child doesn't even use this app. He created it and his own child is not allowed to use this app. So you know how bad it is. And instead
Yeah.
of fixing it and helping other people's kids, you're just, no, my kid just won't use it, but everybody else's children around the world can use it. All the bad effects that come from this app, because I think it was TikTok,
Mhm.
very well could be wrong, but all the negative things that can happen with this app are gonna let it affect other kids. All of the predators that are on here finding kids because you don't care to put verification on, you'll just make sure your child stays off it. All these other kids are unsafe. Like you can't just think about your own. We should be seeing each other as a community and trying to protect each other, you know?
I think it's just selfish, but you know, I guess these big companies are selfish. So it's like more like we have to look out for our own friends and family as much as we can. But I wish it wasn't like that. But that's what we have to do. We have to look out. We have to talk about it. We have to make people aware, because some parents are not even aware of any of this going on. Some parents don't even know that their kids have certain social media accounts, and don't know if their kids are even, talking to strangers, or like they don't know anything, some parents. So, and it's not their fault necessarily, because some parents are older as well. Like the older generation doesn't really, it's not really in touch with technology as much, right? So they might not know how to protect their kids, but it's good that we're talking about it for now.
I agree. I think at the end of the day, these companies want to make money and they don't necessarily care about the safety of our children. So it has to come from somewhere else. That's why Defend, is doing such an amazing job at putting out resources and even having these conversations to help educate other people and children about the dangers of the internet and how we can protect ourselves.
Yeah.
To anyone watching, if you want to help defend, protect children against child sex abuse cases, you can go to HelpUsDefend.com. You can also volunteer, send in your resume, and you can also donate and join some of the workshops.